Hello everyone, welcome to Tender Teens Hub, and I am your host Linda Kiranda. So previously on our show, we had discussed about the 4 different types of parenting styles that we have, and today we are going to look at one parenting style known as the authoritarian parenting style. We are going to see what are the characteristics of this parenting style, what causes one to be authoritarian, and also what are the effects of this parenting style. So the authoritarian parenting style is one of the most controlling style among the four parenting styles. So in this style, the authoritarian parent focuses on adherence to authority instead of rewarding positive behavior. This parent only provides feedback in form of punishment for misbehavior. So let's look at the different types of characteristics that we have. Number one, this parent is demanding but not responsive. So the authoritarian parent, this parent has lots of rules, and also they want to micromanage their children, especially in every area, maybe even if it's the private life, even publicly. They want to micromanage every area. They want to micromanage their behaviors, and this is at home, in public, everywhere. So these parents also have many rules, and many rules are unwritten, but now this parent expects these children to follow rules without question. So they must follow the rules without question, and if they don't follow the rules, they are punished for not following the rules. So that is the number one characteristic. The second is this type of parents, they offer little warmth and they are not nurturing. So parents with this style, they are cold, they are aloof, they are harsh. They are the type of parents that yell and nag to their children. They offer very little encouragement and praise. They value discipline over fun. And so what they see in their children, they just want to see their children, but they don't expect their children to be hard. So them is they see their children, but these children are not to be hard. So that is now the authoritarian parent. The third characteristics is they have very little explanations for punishments. So this parent, they love corporal punishment. They involve spanking, and they cannot explain to their children why, the reason they are being punished. So the children don't understand why they are being punished, and they react very harshly to broken rules. So, and they cause punishment, and they don't explain their reason for punishing that behavior. The third characteristics is the children have few choices to make. So this type of parenting style, this type of parent has very little for the children. They don't allow their children to make any choice. They don't give choices or options for their children. So it's either the parents' way or the highway. Yeah? There's very little room for negotiations when it comes to discipline, and they rarely allow their children to make their own decisions. So the other characteristic is they're impatient with misbehavior. The authoritarian parent expects their children to know better, and so their children, they just believe their children should know better, and they should not involve themselves in any undesirable behavior. So they lack patience for explaining why their children should avoid the certain behavior. So they don't explain to their children why, for example, is stealing wrong. They just tell you shouldn't steal and that's it. They don't explain to you why is stealing wrong. So another characteristics of this type of parent, they are mistrusting. This type of parent doesn't trust that their children are capable of making good or sound decisions on their own. So they'll always follow their children, be all over their children, trying to manage, trying to micromanage. Where are you? What are they doing? And to make choices on behalf of their children, because they believe their children cannot be able to make sound decisions on their own. So they hover over their children to ensure that their children don't make mistakes. Yeah. So the other characteristics is this type of parent, they are unwilling to negotiate. So this parent is either black or white. There are no gray areas. They are not willing to negotiate. So situations are viewed, like I said, in either black or white, and there is little room for compromise. So these kids don't get a chance to negotiate. They don't get a chance to say or vote when it comes to setting rules or making any decision. And the last characteristics is shaming. These parents are highly critical, and so they use shame as a tactic to force their children into following the rules that they want their children to follow. So they'll use phrases like, why do you always do this? Why do you always do that? How many times do I have to tell you the same thing? Or why can't you do anything right? So this kind of parents, instead of looking for ways to build their self-esteem for their children, they believe that shaming these children will motivate them to do better. So we have seen the characteristics of the authoritarian parent. So let us look at the causes. What causes this parent to be authoritarian in the first place? So we have to understand that the authoritarian parent or authoritarian parenting is not something that parents engage in intentionally. There are factors that contribute for these parents to use this authoritarian style. And the first cause is, number one cause for this is the authoritarian parenting. So people who are brought up in the authoritarian style, who are raised by authoritarian parents or have the authoritarian background culture, they will end up being authoritarian themselves because they were exposed to this parenting style as children. So as they grow up, they'll end up raising their own children in a similar manner, because these are the cultures they were introduced to, the behaviors, the patterns, the habits they were introduced to as children when growing up, and that is what they'll extend and give to their children, because you can't give what you don't have. What you have in you, that's what you'll give. So these parents, they were also brought up in the same manner, and that is what they're giving their children, because they are parents. As parents, you're the first role model your children see you. So if you are brought up with an authoritarian parent, these are the models that you saw, and you'll end up definitely just giving to your children bringing up your children the same way. The second reason why someone may be authoritarian is what we call personality trait. There's a personality trait known as the agreeable. So a less agreeable people or person tend to be less empathetic and more hostile. So they also have difficult relations in general, and this can include their own children. so it's a personality trait. So the third reason is what we call a personality dimension. And this personality dimension is known as neuroticism. So neuroticism is a personality dimension, and it involves your emotional stability, and it's marked by a tendency to experience anxiety, doubt, depression, and other negative feelings. So if someone has that personality dimension, that can affect their authoritarian parent. They can be affected, and they'll be authoritarian by nature now. So thank you guys. We are going to dive in next and see what are the effects of this type of parenting style in our next video. Thank you so much. Kindly don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe. If you have any comment on the comment section, and see you again. Bye.